How do we graph linear inequalities? The prerequisite knowledge on graphing linear inequalities is the graphing of linear equation. So it is very important that we know how to graph linear equation so that we will understand how to graph our inequalities. For inequalities, there are four possible cases. These are the greater than, less than. We also have greater than or equal to, and the other one which is less than or equal to. So you have here in our problem, graph 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. So as I have said earlier, it is important for us to know the ways on how you could graph your equation. Why? Because the first thing that we have to note is to change the inequality into an equation. So that is the first thing that we are going to do. So we are given here 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. So we will just consider the equation 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. Okay, again, the thing here is we are to graph the equation first. So the easiest way is by making use of our x and y intercepts. So if you are letting your x be equal to 0, we simply have to substitute. So substituting now x equal to 0, we will be having 2 times 0 minus 3y is equal to 6. So you have now your 2 times 0 is 0, so you can just drop that down. So we have now negative 3y is equal to 6, and dividing both the sides of the equation by negative 3, you are now getting a y which is equal to a negative 2. So we have here the value of your y is negative 2 if x is equal to 0. The next is we will now let our y be equal to 0. So again, we go back to our equation, 2x minus 3 times the 0, okay, is equal to 6. And going on with the solution, you have now 2x 3 times 0 is already 0 is equal to 6, and dividing both sides by 3, again the value of x that we are, or by 2, we have to divide by 2, and the 3 is the result. Okay, so we already have these 2 points, 0, negative 2, and then 3, 0. We can now plot those 2 points here. Okay, again, we have the y-intercept as negative 2 and the x-intercept as positive 3. And the next thing that we have to note now is if there is the equation sign. Okay, so if there is the equality sign, like in this case, you have greater than or equal to, then the line that we are supposed to form is what you call the solid line. Okay? Now, what if, for example, it's just the greater than and we cannot see this equal symbol? Suppose the equation that we are having is simply the 2x minus 3y is greater than 6. Okay, so since the equal to is not a part of your solution, what are we going to do? That simply means that it's not a part of the solution. Therefore, we will have to create now a broken line. Okay, there will be a broken line as part, or because it's not a part of your solution. Okay, but since in our example it is equal to or greater than or equal to 6, that simply suggests that it is a part of your answer, okay, or the graph. Okay, so that means the line should be solid. Okay, we need to understand now that this line separates the greater than from the less than. Okay? Again, this line that we have pertains to your 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. Okay? So this separates the condition now that you have 2x minus 3y is less than 6, and the other one as 2x minus 3y is greater than 6. Okay, again, this line, the solution of this line is 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. That's the representation. So all those points which are either part of the upper part or the lower part of this is either the one which is less than or the other one which is greater than. And that is another thing that we have to check. Okay, so the reference point that we will be using is the point or the point of origin. Okay, so we are now choosing the point of origin, which is now our 0, 0. And for us to test whether your point of origin is part of the solution. So what are we going to do with that? Again, we go back to the original inequality given. So we have now 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. So what are we going to do? We are now going to substitute 0, 0 to our x and y so that you will now have 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0. And we are going to check whether that is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so if you are going to check on this, 2 times 0 is 0, then 3 times 0 is also 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. So we are now making a statement which is 0 is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is ask ourselves, is this statement true or false? So obviously, this is a false statement. Okay, this is a false statement, which simply means that this one is not a part of the solution for your 2x. Again, for the 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. That simply means that you are going to get the solution, or the solution for this problem are these parts. Okay, so if you are going to shade that part, okay, it will be all the points that we have here. I will just draw some lines. Okay, all these points that you can see, okay, here are the considered solution for the inequality. So all of the points that are under this line. Okay, and then suppose our equation is less than or equal to 6, then you have to shade the other part. Okay, the other side of your line. Again, the use of the linear or the line here will be to separate the greater than from the less than. Okay, so if you want to test or if you want to check some points, you can actually get some points here in the shaded area now. Suppose I want to check my point 3, -4. So if I want to choose 3, -4, what will I do? There is a point here in the fourth quadrant, which is 3, -4. So what can I possibly do? I can check that with the equation that is given. So I can prove that it's really a solution to the problem. So what are we going to do? I am getting the point 3, -4. So if I will be substituting 3, negative 4, I will be having 2 times 3, and then that is negative 3, and the y there is negative 4, so we have negative 4. Is that greater than or equal to 6? So we have to solve. 2 times 3 gives us a 6, and then negative 3 times negative 4, that will obviously give us now a positive 12, and continuing with that, we have greater than or equal to 6. And we have 6 plus 12 is equal to 18. So obviously, it satisfies the equation or the inequality. So we have 18 is greater than or equal to 6. Again, the inequality greater than is satisfied. Okay, so that means we are this all the points. Okay, again, all these points which are lying here are solutions for your inequality. 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. That is how you graph your linear inequality. Again, it's important to know the method of solving or graphing your linear equation. And then after plotting the points there, you can now create your line. Before you create your line or form your line, you have to check whether it is supposed to be broken or a solid line. So if you have the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then you have to make it a solid line. When you simply have the greater than or the less than, it should be represented by, or the line should be represented by a broken line because it's not part of the solution. And then after that, you have to test the 0, 0, okay, for you to identify whether that point, which is now your point of origin, is a solution to the inequality that's given. And after that, you can already shade the part which satisfy the equation or the inequality.